And here we are at the cavernous Amoeba Music Berkeley for the weekend hip hop report with Elid, the man who really loves hip hop, and he's going to do a rundown of what's new and hot, what's selling, and also some classics that people might have slept on, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, personal classics, I'd say, the ones that I picked out, but you said within the last few years. So
yeah,
I just picked out a couple of slept on LA hip hop releases, since you know that I love that stuff. What have we got new over here going on, first of all? Well,
first up, Lil Wayne has been a hot item, right?
Oh yeah, we're actually out of the regular edition of Lil Wayne. We'll get that back in like the next day or so. Just got in 2 copies of the special edition. I'm predicting that those will move in the next day.
With 3 bonus tracks, right?
Yeah, it's got like 3 bonus tracks on it. It's a little more pricey, but probably worth the 3 additional tracks if you're into that stuff. The Blue album starting to move better now. As predicted, people are really into Blue, especially in the Bay Area. So down to 1 casual album. We got to restock that type soon. We just got in some cool wax. I'll show you this. This is just hot off the presses, Greenberg, and this is the new single from Alchemist, Oh No, and Rock Marciano, who are 3 very talked about names these days. Probably going to be really dope. It's a picture disc. Got a kind of a 60s detective vibe to it.
Instant collectible.
Right. Yeah, I like it a lot.
And Decon is a pretty good little label, isn't it?
Yeah, Decon puts out some interesting titles. You know, they had Here's Born last year, and a couple of other good ones. Let's see. Other than that, the newest CD we got here is Knives and Gasoline. This is one that I ordered specially for the store. It's a very interesting project.
The cover looks like a 70s progressive rock.
I know, and it is actually kind of a rock album in some ways. It's almost a post-punk album, I'd say. It's a singer, Stacy D, who's part of a couple of prominent Bay Area punk bands, namely the Angry Amputees, Bad Cop, and Compton SF were all her groups. The Angry Amputees being the one with the most rep in the Bay Area. They recently opened for American Steel, actually, at Bottom of the Hill. Put on a good show. It was to a pretty packed crowd. So that's her singing over a hip-hop producer's beats. And the hip-hop producer is D-Ski out of LA, who is one of the most slept-on producers from LA. If you check, if you're into LA hip-hop like I am, and you look at all the different albums, you'll see that he's produced so many things since '99. I have probably 150 D-Ski songs on my iPod or something. Wow. I was just looking through it. And that's not even counting all the stuff that he's mastered for people over the years. He masters his albums all the time for folks. He's great, he's a great producer. The sound of this album is kind of it's definitely post-punk, as I said. It's almost got a Portishead kind of vibe to it. Really dark beats with punk female vocals over it. Definitely some interesting tracks, some poppy numbers, some sort of more angsty punk numbers. I do highly recommend this. It's a really interesting listen. Everyone that I played that for who hadn't heard of it was a big fan, so they definitely check it out. And other than that, some albums that might have been slept on that didn't get looked at. Gelrock's album, Beautiful Tragedy. I think I mentioned this on one of the Amoeba blogs a while ago, but I can't emphasize enough how great this album is. It came out this year. Excellent, dark, avant-garde jazz beats by this dude named Zirkles, who's great, and Gelrock is just a master MC. I mean, he's got a really slick flow, knows his lyrics, got his concepts down. This has got a lot of great guests on it, such as AC Alone, Abstract Rude, Joe Dub's on there, Nayla's on there, Zagger Brown, Mestizo, Open Mike Eagle, it just goes on, And it's also, this album I also credit for having one of the best LA posse cuts in recent memory. Oh yeah? Which is track 15, Tragic Poetry, that has about 15 rappers from Los Angeles on
there needs to be more posse cuts nowadays, right?
Yeah, seriously. And the thing is that, as far as the LA stuff goes, they always have massive posse cuts. They have one massive posse cut per record, sort of, because everyone in that scene knows each other. They're all sort of vibe off each other,
Yeah. So what do we have here? These are ones from the last couple of years.
These are ones from the last couple of years. This is playing in the background right now. This just came out this year. This is Maker versus Now Again, which is the producer Maker from Chicago tackling Stone's Throw's Now Again catalog. Really great stuff. Maker is a really talented producer. He's produced for people like Quell and Gray Skull and Glue. There's a bunch of bands he's produced for, but you know, he's just an excellent producer. His instrumental work is amazing, and this is just him remixing or reinterpreting rather a bunch of, you know, funk numbers from Stone's Throw's Now Again catalog. Sounds really fresh. I just brought a copy of this.
And speaking of Stone's Throw, do you know that Homeboy Sandman signed with them?
Yes, I did hear about that.
Good news, right?
Good for him. You know, I feel like he does deserve a bigger push. Even though I like,
it's a good pairing too.
Yeah, and you know, I like High Water Music, the other label that he was on. That's actually one of my favorite labels from New York. But it's good to see him hook up with an even bigger label, just because he deserves a bigger push. You know.
So what else we got here?
Let's see. First, these are some things that we just got back in on vinyl. This is actually brand new. This is another new release called Rapping with Paul White. He's an MC from Great Britain, I believe. So English rap, but check out the guests on here. Homeboy Sandman, who we were just talking about, is on there. Guilty Simpson, we got on there. Danny Brown has been getting a lot of hype these days. All of the hip-hop heads that shop here are out consistently asking me for Danny Brown products when we're going to get them in. So, guys on there. Mo Pope is a good rapper.
Right.
He's on there.
This guy too, British guy. I know him from
Jess,
Brain
right.
Text.
Yeah, that's right. I know Jess too. That's just on some Great Britain stuff.
Right.
Probably pretty cool. I haven't listened to it. This is just came back in. Tasty Wax for probably Jay Dilla's best solo project. Welcome to Detroit.
On
Terrific
vinyl.
album on vinyl.
So is that a double vinyl? Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
This is really good stuff.
Okay. So what else we got?
Other than that,
Speaking of 70s rock covers, this one reminds me of Roger Dean Yes cover album.
This one?
No, this one here.
On
from
this
that
one.
angle.
Okay.
Kind of a bugged out version of it.
Yeah. This guy, Existerio and Deesky, we were just talking about Deesky with the Knives and Gasoline album, which he produced. This is one of his hip hop projects that he produced in its entirety.
And it's called?
It's called Hopeless Crooks with Open Books.
Hopeless Crooks with Open Books.
That's
nice
correct.
title.
And it's Existerio and Deesky. Existerio is also part of Candy's 22, whose album we have over here. This is one of his solo albums that I love that came out a few years back. We did restock it over here recently. It's got like Micah 9 and Medusa, Ike Owen of the Mars Volta is on there, Tumex is on there. Really terrific stuff. Definitely check it out.
Yeah.
Dark beats and really interesting stylistic rapping.
Hey, did you ever see that documentary about the Good Life Cafe, Living the Life?
Yes.
I bet you like that one.
This is the life.
Yeah,
I own that. That's great. I wish we should really restock that. I feel like it kind of went out of print or something somewhere along the line.
They had it at the film festival here in Berkeley last week.
Yeah. I heard that one of the Project Low dudes performed at that too.
Yeah.
But
and it was at an Amoeba
cool.
film series down in LA when it first came out too.
Yeah. That's a great documentary.
So what else
this is the last one that I'm gonna plug here. This is Iami's album. I did a write-up of this in the last Amoeba Recommends book. He's part of the Seattle collective Old Dominion, who always put out good music, and it always gets slept on. It's got a very punk cover, but it's actually not as punk as the cover might suggest. Funnily enough, this album's called Lame because so many people misprinted his name on flyers as Lame that he decided to go with that. And what's funny is that when it got checked in here, I'll be honest, like whoever typed it in as lame, and put it in the rock section.
So he's embracing the typos.
He's embracing the typos. And what's cool is that he kind of runs with the concept too, because the album is about how he's kind of a lame, like minimum wage earning rapper, and he sort of like runs with that concept through the whole album. He's like talking about his house cat and stuff, and all sorts of like sort of lame concepts, you know. But he does it in a clever way. Really excellent production on this album. The production is handled by Smoke of Old Dominion, who is a very underrated producer. He produces most of the Old Dominion stuff, and it's got what could be described as a classic Seattle hip-hop sound, which is very dark, sort of overcast sound with a soulful sort of vibe to it, you know? I'm a big fan. This is kind of slept on, so I hope people will check it out.
All right, man. Well, listen, thank you so much, Elid, for all your time here
No problem,
at
man.
Amoeba Music Berkeley.